When you've got Frank Sinatra and Pete Seeger in your press kit, Leonard Bernstein and Willie Nelson, when your resume includes Charles Mingus and the Pennsylvania Opera, Woody Fest and Hollywood, you are a different kind of cat. No one has made a more sustained and significant career out of being a different kind of cat than David Amram. He plays, by latest count, 35 instruments from dozens of countries, has written operas with Joseph Papp and cantatas with Langston Hughes, Broadway scores for Arthur Miller and with Jack Kerouac, introduced jazz to beat poetry readings.
You think the mayor wouldn't have time to line them up, because they rolled, and they rolled like the sea.
The Washington Post calls Amram one of the most versatile and skilled musicians America has ever produced. Wynton Marsalis calls him a godsend to those who believe in the power of music to change lives and inspire. He's won Lifetime Achievement Awards in jazz, film, and folk, written orchestral pieces based on Latin roots music and the songs of Woody Guthrie, served as State Department Goodwill Ambassador, and written film scores for hits like Manchurian Candidate and Splendor in the Grass. He's been composer in residence for the New York Philharmonic and Shakespeare in the Park, and there is a cheese named after him. He does have one steady gig. He cooks the corn every year at the Putnam County 4-H Fair. A different kind of cat. How do you describe a career like that? How does he describe it? I am a full-time student, he says, at the University of Hangoutology. By hanging out, I mean being in the presence and the world of those who know more than you do and allow you to share a little bit of that wisdom. So when people say I'm a scholar or pioneer of world music, I say I am an ethno-funkologist and explain that funk means the undocumented and indescribable essence of what each type of music says to your heart. Amram never set out to be eclectic. He simply loved it all. When there was something that touched me, he says, I tried to get closer to it. I never really thought about what I was doing until later. You look for the beauty part, along with the part that reflects the struggle and reaction to the horrors of life. He hears that same journey in the blues and Bach's B minor Mass, in Irish ballads, Jewish and Middle Eastern songs of prayer. A moment came when he was 24 that defined his career, though he didn't know it. While studying composition and arrangement on the GI Bill, Charles Mingus asked him to join his band. David told him he was going to college. You'll learn more with me, Mingus said, so David joined. But he kept going to college. He was learning in both places. Why choose? He would follow it all. As his reputation for eclecticism grew, offers came to write Broadway scores and operas, soundtracks and orchestral pieces. He performed with the global artists igniting the world music movement, a revolution his eclecticism helped foment. He loves to tell the story of trying to convince conductor Eugene Ormandy about the beauty of Native American music. "It's too simple," Ormandy complained over and over.
It all sounds the same. It's too simple. It's monotonous.
Amram played him an intricate Cheyenne war chant. Ormandy stared at him, then said,
"It's too complicated."
For all Amram's star-studded history, he loves nothing better than jamming all night at folk festivals. He often hands out simple folk instruments that anyone can play because he loves the sound of music being expressed without the veneer of expertise. It's easier to hear the human heart inside.
Oh, my darling, please come back to me. Oink, oink, suet, suet, police, sweet, everybody. Alfred the Hop, Alfred the Hop, sitting on a log, sitting on a log.
I don't jam because I feel like I'm doing anybody a favor, he says. It's being surrounded by the beauty of the moment. We're all here to share. We all love music. So let's get down to the get down. David wears a thick stack of trinket-laden necklaces, or to us they look like trinkets. To him, they're people. The big lion is students who performed his 12th night opera and gave it to him instead of a party because they had to study for exams. The Star of David is Israeli songwriter David Broza, the white ivory Pete Seeger, and the little French horn is Dizzy Gillespie when they performed a memorial for Thelonious Monk, and Dizzy said they'd reached that age when it's time to put something back in the pot. Of course, Amram's always given back to the music that gives him so much, because he's always seen music as a family, the family of the human heart.
Thank you.
Asked what advice he'd give young people, he chisels his words carefully, measuring them like downbeats. When you're told by experts that there's no market for what you're doing, no demographic, that your music is passé, a waste of time, an unrealistic pursuit, an adolescent way of planning your life, accept all that wise counseling, then hang out with somebody else. That's the word from the Dean of the University of Hangoutology, David Amram. A different kind of cat.
Curious as to where you are now. How do you categorize yourself? Are you a jazz composer or?
Well, Nat, I've been around a great deal of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of kinds of music ever since I was a kid. And I'd say now, where I'm at is the very beginning.